So you think the point of arresting Diddy was to shut down inquiry into what Diddy was doing?
Get the data, right? I think they did it to get all the data away from Diddy because he was being sued in civil court. And so they arrest Diddy. What'd they just convict him of? Nothing.
Well, that's clearly the point of the first Jeffrey Epstein arrest.
Wiener's laptop had kill switches in it. It was filled with crap that wasn't supposed to be there. We never get to see it. Supposedly 9 cops watch the videos on Wiener's laptop. They had to keep leaving the room because they couldn't stand what they were seeing. And all 9 are now dead. And there's names and faces and deadness, right? They're real people. Now you can say, well, maybe they died for other reasons. I go, but it's still 9 cops. You know, it's like the 5 cops who died after January 6th, right? 4 of them were suicides. According to AI, there were about 80 cops really in the thick of things. 4 of them died from suicide.
So this is what we're about to discuss today. I'm about to show you the scary correlation between Charlie Kirk and Diddy. And you may say, well, how would you say that? Diddy didn't get shot. Diddy is still alive. Yeah. But why? Because it's really, really, really simple. Does anybody want to guess why Diddy is still alive and why Charlie Kirk isn't? It's because Charlie Kirk refused the money. See, it's kind of like in football. When you're a rookie or when you are a young boy like Diddy or a young boy like Charlie Kirk or a young boy in college football, you get offered that first contract, and that is your first level of compliance. And then as you grow within the system, you get offered another deal. And that second deal you get offered in the NFL or in this world that we're talking about, or maybe the third deal, it turns into $150 million. And Diddy accepted the $150 million. But Charlie Kirk turned it down. So let's start here. Everybody hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button, and drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. This information is so like nobody on the internet has ever thought of something like this. So I'm going to play this again for the people who just coming in, and we're going to keep going. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at, and make sure to hit the thumbs up button.
So you think the point of arresting Diddy was to shut down inquiry into what Diddy was doing?
Get the data, right? I think they did it to get all the data away from Diddy because he was being sued in civil court. And so they arrest Diddy. What'd they just convict him of? Nothing.
Well, that's clearly the point of the first Jeffrey Epstein arrest.
Wiener's laptop had kill switches in it. It was filled with crap that wasn't supposed to be there. We never get to see it. Supposedly 9 cops watch the videos on Wiener's laptop. They had to keep leaving the room because they couldn't stand what they were seeing. And all 9 are now dead. And there's names and faces and deadness, right? They're real people.
Did y'all hear that? All 9 of them who watched the tapes are dead. Why is Diddy not dead? Not saying that I want him gone. I'm not saying that. Because he complied. Diddy, in his mind, he did the Diddy parties. He did all the things that his handlers asked him to do. Diddy is literally in prison wondering why the hell he's in prison. Because he's just like, yo, I took the money. I complied. I did everything y'all asked me to. Why the hell am I in prison or in jail? But he's about to go to prison because they're not going to let him out. But does anybody want to know the answer to that? It's simple. But I'll give y'all a second. Does anybody want to know why they put Diddy in jail if Diddy complied and took the money and did all the things that they wanted him to do? He did one particular thing that he wasn't supposed to do. Anybody? I'll give y'all 10 seconds. Come on now. Let's see. Let's see. What did he do that he was not supposed to do? All right. I'll tell y'all. He sued Diageo. He sued Diageo. That is what he did. And once they started looking at him like, oh, you think this is a game? He instantly had his house raided. Instantly. And here's the thing, and this is what this guy said. The reason why he went to jail was to hide what he knew. Because right here.
So you think the point of arresting Diddy was to shut down inquiry into what Diddy was doing?
Get the data, right? I think they did it to get all the data away from Diddy because he was being
sued by all these different people. He got sued by Lil Rod. He got sued by Cassie. He got sued by all these people. And what does him being sued have to do with anything? There's something called discovery. When you get sued, there's something called discovery. That means the court can go into your cell phones. The court can go into your past. The court can go into your mama's cell phone. The court can go into anything that they want in order to find out whatever it is that they need to find out. So once he started getting sued and he started suing Diageo, they was like, all right, we got to put him in jail, because what does putting Diddy in jail help prevent? It prevents discovery because he's in jail. So now you can't get the discovery or sue him because he's in jail fighting a criminal case. And we all know criminal cases take precedence over civil cases. So you deal with a criminal case first. So that means there's no discovery, there's no information, nobody knows nothing until his criminal case is over. Now, all they got to do is keep Diddy in jail for like 10 years, because I don't know if y'all know it, Diddy ain't getting out. And I said that in the beginning. I said Diddy is most likely going to do 1 or 2 years. And then I changed it and said, you know what? No, Diddy is going to do about 10 years, no matter what, because they need to hide Diddy. See, Diddy may be of some use later on, but they need to put Diddy in a freezer in order to get an understanding on what's going on with other things. All right. And all of this has a lot to do, well, everything to do with one thing, whether it's the Epstein dude, whether it's Diddy, and whether it's Charlie Kirk. Now, one thing is children. And you may say, Charlie Kirk is married. He has a wife. He has this. He has that. Why would he be, getting into stuff like that? And you already know what I mean. The traffic lights. So we're going to use a lot of code words today. So we're going to use traffic lights. So I'll say this. We're going to use the tadpole traffic lights. Some people don't know what that means. Oh, well, you don't even know what it means. So tadpole traffic lights is what this whole thing have to do with. And if you don't understand, you got to figure that out on your own. This entire thing has all to do with children as well as young adults. All right. So let's go. I'm going to play this all the way through. Now, everybody's in. Hit the like button to the new people who just came in. To the new people, just hit the came in, hit the like button. To the new people, drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. To the new people who just came in, drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Hit the like button. Let's go. Nobody's talking about this.
Sued in civil court. And so they arrest Diddy. What'd they just convict him of? Nothing.
Well, that's clearly the point of the first
Biden's
Jeffrey Epstein arrest.
Wiener's laptop had kill switches in it. It was filled with crap that wasn't supposed to be there. We never get to see it. Supposedly 9 cops watched the videos on Wiener's laptop. They had to keep leaving the room because they couldn't stand what they were seeing. And all 9 are now dead. And there's names and faces and deadness, right? They're real people. Now you can say, well, maybe they died for other reasons. I go, but it's still 9 cops. You know, it's like the 5 cops who died after January 6th, right?
Like, you can't, cops aren't supposed to die and nobody cares or nobody knows what happened. A cop dying, 9 of them dying, and nobody says anything?
4 of them were suicides. According to AI, there were about 80 cops really in the thick of things. 4 of them died from suicide.
The famous really have a big problem. I'm one of the only people who managed to get globally famous and renowned without having a gatekeeper. If you're on a basketball team, if you
gatekeeper without having a what? A gatekeeper. And what is a gatekeeper? A mentor. What is a mentor? A handler.
say anything you're not supposed to say, you're off the team. If you're an actress and you say something you're not supposed to say, the producers won't hire you anymore. Record labels, YouTube, there's always someone who will shut you down if you start speaking in a way you're not supposed to speak. And the way they avoid this from happening is the same thing they tried to do to me. I got offered $55 million to sign a contract, and that contract was a sponsorship contract. But to avoid brand damage, I had to shut up about certain issues and change my opinions on certain things. And I declined the money. And soon after that, I was arrested. So what they try and do is give you a gatekeeper if you get famous without one, but primarily people only get famous because of their gatekeeper. All of these famous people aren't even famous. They cannot allow you to be influential if they don't control you. That's what Epstein's Island was about. That's what my criminal cases are about. That's what all of this is about, because the entire world is a battle for influence. And if you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. And if you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. And if you're influential, they need to get you under somebody.
So, no matter who you are, once you gain a certain amount of influence, there will be somebody of higher influence that will come visit you. And they're going to make you an offer. And if you refuse that offer, because some people refuse the offer, and when you refuse that offer, this happens.
The Department of Homeland Security conducting a raid at a house in Holmby Field Hills, believed to be connected to Sean Combs, the rapper and music executive, perhaps being linked to a sex trafficking investigation.
He got some shots of a few people coming out of the home.
And remember, just like what Andrew Tate was convicted of, what was Andrew Tate convicted of or charged of? The same exact thing. But guess what? This is what's crazy. The whole thing is a mind fuck, because guess what? Who the person is trying to get you to do that is visiting you or trying to mentor you is to help them traffic light people. I'm using the word traffic light on purpose. So the same people that want you to traffic light people, if you say no, they will get you caught up, and the charges that you'll get caught up with are traffic lighting people. So next thing you know, you're like, yo, I said no to the traffic lights and I'm getting convicted of traffic lights? What the hell is happening? Hit a like button, hit a like button, hit a like button. Everybody in the chat, drop. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Everybody drop in the chat, drop in the chat. Let's go down in the rabbit hole. let's go in the rabbit hole. Spam the chat, put in the comments. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Let's go down the rabbit hole.
Those people have been detained. Now, we're trying to still connect the dots. We do have some sources on scene here that we're getting this information from. We were actually the first ones.
Yes, Diddy was actively being a traffic light. His mansion was right across the water from we'll talk about that too. Where was his mansion right across the water from? Like, I got so much shit. Look, this is what I need y'all to do. It's 2 emojis. Picture of a rabbit and a picture of a hole. All right. Drop picture of a rabbit and picture of a hole. Or you could just say, let's go down a rabbit hole. All right. Some of y'all already know. To the people who are new to me, this is what we do over here. We go down a rabbit hole.
Here with about 30 different law enforcement vehicles at least. There are 3 Bearcats on scene here. This just all unfolded, Sandra, I would say, less than 10 minutes ago. We got here even before the...
And I want y'all to think about this. A year later, after all that crazy shit, he doesn't even get convicted of anything. After all of that, he does not get convicted of anything. Playboy Mansion, yes. I got it all. When I say we're down a rabbit hole, we going down a rabbit hole today.
His house.
What happened?
And obviously the Playboy Mansion's right there, and we know about the tunnels that connect from.
So remember, I had a video that got 1 million views about the tunnels. This is the reason why, or one of the reasons why, they raided Diddy's LA mansion. He had a mansion in LA, and he had a mansion in Miami, and I think he had a mansion in New York. So this is the tunnels. This is about the tunnels.
Psychic medium, so I actually, like, every time I walk past his house, and obviously the Playboy Mansion's right there, and we know about the tunnels that connect from the Playboy Mansion.
To here?
I'm sure they could.
So Diddy purchased a massive house near the Playboy Mansion, actually within walking distance from the Playboy Mansion. And why are we talking about the Playboy Mansion? Because did those tunnels from the Playboy Mansion lead to Diddy's LA home? The answer is factually yes. See, I went all the way down the rabbit hole with this Diddy stuff. Pricey paid. Puff Daddy purchases massive $40 million Humbly Hills estate near Playboy Mansion within walking distance of Playboy Mansion. It was Jack Nicholson's old house. According to this story on Playboy, secret tunnels running from the Playboy Mansion to the homes of several nearby celebrities were constructed. The tunnels went beneath the Los Angeles Country Club to the homes of Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson is the house Diddy bought. Warren Beatty, Kirk Douglas, and James Caan.
You and Jack Nicholson had your own secret passageway into the Playboy Mansion.
No.
Is that true?
L. Campbell said this is old news. Duh! See, when you go down a rabbit hole, you run into shit that you already seen. See, I'm helping the new people get an understanding what happened to Diddy. See, this is called setting the narrative, setting the tone. I have to put everything together for everybody to understand why in the world are we talking about Diddy, and Diddy is in jail and Charlie Kirk just got, assassinated. Why are you talking about Diddy? I have to explain why I'm talking about Diddy. So I need y'all to understand I'm doing this on purpose, and this is for a real reason.
Well,
and please don't say the I word, say IHOP in the chat. Everybody say IHOP in the chat. Do not say that place that starts with an I. Say IHOP.
I think the story was printed that there was a tunnel.
Playboy.com staff members released some blueprints that they found a few years ago that show underneath the Playboy Mansion is a series of tunnels that were constructed to link Hugh Hefner's world-famous domicile to the homes of Jack Nicholson, James.
And remember, I'm getting somewhere having to do with Charlie Kirk, so stay with me.
Kahn, Kirk Douglas, and Warren Beatty. The blueprints, which show that the construction project was built in the 70s and 80s, were discovered in the Playboy archives by staff writers looking for a juicy story.
Now dig this. A photo from the late 70s allegedly showing an excavation in progress beneath the mansion. And this one shows the newly discovered tunnel plan.
See, this right here is how somebody is able to smuggle tadpoles from one place to another without anybody knowing it. Remember, I told you this whole thing is about traffic lights. And if you don't know what I mean by traffic lights, ask somebody in the chat, and somebody in the chat will, gracefully tell you if you're not, if you're not understanding. But I'm saying the word traffic lights on purpose because I don't want YouTube to demonetize my channel. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all understand what I mean by traffic lights, because I need to make sure y'all are up to what's going on, because I don't want to lose anybody. So right now, everybody put a 1 in the chat if you understand what I mean by traffic lights. Come on. Ones. Traffic lights, you got to use context, y'all. Okay. Traffic lights doesn't mean traffic lights. What are you doing? You're driving in traffic, right? So you got to use that word, and you got to take that word and you got to figure the rest out. So I'm using the word traffic lights so YouTube won't know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay. So the tunnels were used to traffic lights. There were traffic lights in the tunnels, so you'll know where to go, where to, stop and go with the traffic lights. Next thing you know, you can take this traffic from here to there without anybody knowing. Okay. Yeah. Driving Mini Coopers. Yes. The traffic light was meant to bring Mini Coopers, tadpoles, So the words we're going to use is traffic lights and Mini Coopers. So they were traffic lights and they were smuggling Mini Coopers through the tunnels. That's why we're talking about tunnels right now. All right. All right. So y'all good? Just want to make sure.
Check out the bunny logo on the plywood wall.
The second time I met Oprah was at the Playboy Mansion. There's tunnels under the Playboy Mansion that lead to celebrities' homes. All kinds of.
And when y'all hear how this is connected to Charlie Kirk, you're going to be like, oh, shit. So hang out. When you see the correlation, you're going to be like, oh, this is going to be crazy.
And we've caught them. We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape. We've caught them all. And by the way, you gave the idea for the Logan Act against General Flynn. You better take a look at that, because we caught you in a sense, and President Obama was sitting in the office. He knew about it too. So don't tell me about a free transition.
All right. This right here gives you an understanding of who is in charge of what. And we're going to, Charlie Kirk ain't on here, right? But there's certain departments, we'll say. All right. So this right here, just to give you an understanding of, at the top, Universal Music Group, Warner Music, and Seagram Liquors. You see that? Seagram Liquors. Who did Diddy sue that started this whole situation? He sued Diageo. See, a lot of liquor companies, They get with rappers. Why? Because rappers bring the women, and then women get drunk, and then women end up Mini Coopers. See that? So liquor has a lot to do with a lot of this stuff, because that's the first thing that the girl is going to drink. Liquor. So it's easy to put it in the liquor. So rapper plus liquor equals traffic lights. All right. So then we got Atlantic, Lee R. Cohen. Lee R. Cohen is over YouTube. Rockefeller Records, Russell Simmons. You already know about Russell Simmons. Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin was a weirdo. Clive Davis. Who was Clive Davis, y'all? Diddy's handler. So we're going to talk about Charlie Kirk's handler in a minute, but Clive Davis was Diddy's handler. And of course, at the bottom is old Epi-Stick. Shout out to old Epi-Stick. All right. Jimmy Iovine is on here. Jimmy Iovine is dead, by the way. Why is Jimmy Iovine dead? Don't worry about it. He dead. None of your business. All right. So, oh, let's go. So we just going, we slowly going down the rabbit hole, y'all. We're slowly going down the rabbit hole.
Every day about how people just keep. See, I was going.
Breaking news.
All right, remember this?
He had just adopted, where a lot of people
Remember
started
this?
to point out that she allegedly looked like a girl who disappeared 6 years ago.
Breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents that.
Where is she now? Where is the little white girl? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Shout out to the little white girl. I hope she's okay. But most likely, she's in another country selling ass, because she's probably 17, 18 right now. Hopefully she's not, but it's a possibility she's in another country selling ass.
But you're my child also. Please tell the story.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up. And
all right, so now we have that correlation. Now we can go back to the original conversation. Just trying to get y'all caught up.
Speaks at a college. He just seems like any other.
So now we're going to talk about, you know what? Wait. So we know who Diddy is now. Let's talk about how Diddy got to his mentor. Okay, let's ask this. Do y'all want to start with Charlie Kirk, or do y'all want me to start with Diddy? Y'all want me to start with Charlie Kirk, or you want me to start with Diddy? Put Charlie Kirk in the comments, or Diddy, because I'm about to use the correlation of when Diddy was a kid and then when Charlie Kirk was a kid, and I want to show you exactly how they both had the same scenario happen to them. All right, so y'all saying Diddy, so we're gonna go with Diddy, and then we'll come back to this. Charlie Kirk and Diddy were both visited by mentors or handlers at the same freaking age. Here we go. Let's start with Diddy.
Force him to engage in these freak-offs when he was still a minor? Chill, these Diddy stories are getting way out of hand. And honestly, at this point, it's hard to say what's fact and what's not. Because every single day, there are more and more horrific stories about this man. And now the streets are saying that Diddy's mom was involved in the freak-offs, and that he grew up to be the way that he did because
Now, the thing about it is, for a lot of these young people, like Justin Bieber, we're going to talk about Justin Bieber, a lot of these people, it all starts with their parents. Remember R. Kelly, and how did R. Kelly get Aaliyah, or how did Diddy get a hold of Cassie? Her parents. Your parents actually set you up to get with these grown-ass men or get with whoever. So it starts with your parents, your disgusting parents, right? So that's what's going on right here. Just like with this little white girl.
Inside and play with the kids.
Wait. This little girl, her mother gave her to Diddy. So it starts with the parents. There's always some money hungry piece of shit as parent that will literally give the child to the man. Do y'all remember this? This little girl, remember her mother? Put a one in the chat, remember her mother. Her mother literally gave this little girl to Diddy. So it starts with the parents. Put a one in the chat if y'all remember that. The mother be giving these young people to these people. How did Usher get famous? His mother gave Usher to Diddy. The mother. All right. So Diddy's mother gave Diddy to Clive Davis.
Childhood. So word on the street is his mom, Janice Combs, was an escort, and she would sometimes make Diddy watch her indulge in these freak-offs when he was still a kid. As if this wasn't bad enough, his dad was also the leader of a very notorious gang in Harlem back in the day, and he would physically assault people and sometimes even unalive them in front of Diddy. Now, this don't excuse any of his behavior, not
Y'all, let's get the likes up. Somebody said the likes are low. Please hit the like button. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the like button. Please hit the thumbs up button. And if you just came in, drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Spam the chat with your city. Spam the chat with your city. Everybody in the chat that just came in, spam the chat with your city. Rep your city. Spam the chat with your city. Let's go.
Not one bit, but at least it gives us a little explanation as to where Diddy inherited all these nasty fetishes and extremely tendencies from. Okay, so ever since Cassie filed her lawsuit, Diddy's whole life has pretty much gone down the drain. He's lost over 18 brand deals. He was kicked off of his position as chairman at his own company, Revolt TV. He's now being dragged to court by the company that distributes his alcohol beverage, and the SA lawsuits just keep piling up by the day. It's definitely not gonna be long before he wipes his bank account clean to fund all of these court fees and fines he's gonna be paying. And as if this wasn't bad enough, people have also been looking into.
So here's a similarity between Diddy and Charlie Kirk. Did y'all know that Diddy started off at a college campus? Say yes or no in the chat. Say yes or no in the chat. Did y'all know that Diddy started off in a college campus? Diddy and Charlie Kirk both started off at a college campus. They had the eyes and the ears of young people. Keep that in mind. Keep in mind, college campus. Remember, young girls and tadpoles. That's what they're always looking for, right? Where are the young girls at? The colleges. Remember Girls Gone Wild? The colleges. Girls Gone Wild was a part of the traffic lights. Y'all probably don't know that. Girls Gone Wild back in the 90s was part of the traffic lights.
His family to try and figure out how Diddy came to be the kind of person that he is. And man, oh man, people found out a whole lot. It looks like Diddy's raging addiction to drugs, these freak-offs, and his against people is tied to his childhood trauma. See, Diddy was still a kid when his father passed away, so in order to provide for the family, his mom Janice was working 3 jobs, and allegedly escorting was one of them. My mother worked 3 jobs, and my grandmother worked 2. At an early age, I started my own paper route. According to the internet, Janice would sometimes bring some of the men that she hooked up with to the house. This is something that she would do often, and Diddy would witness it happen all the time. As if this wasn't all.
She used to be getting smashed by random dudes at the house, and she would call Diddy into the room and allow him to watch.
Already bad.
Allegedly, because I don't want to get sued.
Enough for an underage kid to be seeing, it's also been reported by multiple sources that his father was a gang leader in Harlem. This was confirmed by Complex Magazine back in 2013 in an explosive article where they investigated the parents of a lot of popular rappers. The article read, Diddy's dad, Melvin Combs, was a well-known Harlem gangster who had connections to both Frank Lucas and Nicky Barnes, and Janice was the boss ride-or-die chick. After her husband was brutally murdered when Diddy was still a child, she hear about Diddy's very weird relationship with his mother. People have actually been speculating for a while now that Diddy and his relationship with his mom goes way farther than the regular mother-son relationship. These rumors got even worse after a video.
All right, so we got that correlation together. He had a weird relationship with his mom. All right. Just like this little girl had a weird relationship with her mom. These people's mothers, just like Usher's mom, they give their children away, or they breed their children to become, something for something. I'll just say, because I don't want no problems with YouTube. All right. So now let me play this, and then we're going to get into Charlie Kirk. I want to play this first.
Was staged by Bill Ackman because Charlie's.
Some of y'all seen this already, but I'm leading up to something, so be patient.
An intervention was staged by Bill Ackman because Charlie's rational thoughts about were a no-no.
Come on, y'all. I'm trying not to say nothing. Thank you, Nicole. Nicole says it's almost 2,000 people watching and we got 320 likes. Do y'all think that's right? I don't want to stop the show, and I'm not, but do y'all think it's right? We got almost 2,000 people in here watching, and we only got 300 some likes, y'all. Can y'all please just hit the like button? That's all I ask. Or contribute to the channel also. Cash App, $ AARON 1000 if you want to contribute to the channel. But come on, y'all. Can y'all hit the like button? We got 2,000, almost 2,000 people in here, and we only got 300 likes. Can y'all please hit the like button? I'm just asking y'all. Come on, man. Hit the like button, y'all, because golly.
This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends. Quote unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset and threats were made. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to. This was an under duress situation, I would say, because I've been in these situations before.
He was invited to IHOP. We call the place IHOP here. All right. So he was invited to IHOP.
When I started asking very sensible questions about it, as someone who had dedicated her political life to supporting many times alongside Charlie Kirk, I was met with the very same pressure. And just like Charlie was being invited to, I was invited somewhere else. And when this arrived to me, it felt like a threat. You know, I gotta tell you that. It felt like a threat, like not like, hey, come here and we can educate you because you're my friend. More like, this is your last chance. That's how it felt.
That part right there. Charlie Kirk was warned multiple times. hey, we have $150 million for you, but we need you to do something. And Charlie Kirk said no.
To me, I can't speak to how it felt to Charlie. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money. Charlie was offered a ton of money. A ton of money.
$150 million to be exact.
In this moment. A ton of money. Bieber would fund it, you know. Spend tons of money. And Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding. That Charlie denied, and what Bieber didn't include there, he declined to go to for, I would describe this as like, you know, re-education camp, you know. We've seen it. You made an uh-oh, but we can help you. You know, we just need you to come out to Auschwitz and take a picture. Yeah. We just need you to come to the Holocaust Museum and take a photo. We just need you to go to, and we can make this better. Charlie said no to Bieber. Okay. Bill Ackman, if you would like to dispute that, I would love to hear what you say happened, because our sources and what we have, it's solid.
All right. So now that we got that straight, now we're about to give you some information that none of you know about Charlie Kirk.
But at that college, he catches someone.
Let me back up. I want to back this up right here because this part is important, and then we're going to keep going.
The famous really have a big problem. I'm one of the only people who managed to get globally famous and renowned without having a gatekeeper. If you're on a basketball team, if you say anything you're not supposed to say, you're off the team. If you're an actress and you say something you're not supposed to say, the producers won't hire you anymore. Record labels, YouTube, there's always someone who will shut you down if you start speaking in a way you're not supposed to speak. And the way they avoid this from happening is the same thing they tried to do to me. I got offered $55 million to sign a contract, and that contract was a sponsorship contract. But to avoid brand damage, I had to shut up about certain issues and change my opinions on certain things. And I declined the money. And soon after that, I was arrested. So what they try and do is give you a gatekeeper if you get famous without one, but primarily people only get famous because of their gatekeeper. All of these famous people aren't even famous. They cannot allow you to be influential if they don't control you. That's what Epstein's Island was about. That's what my criminal cases are about. That's what all of this is about, because the entire world is a battle for influence. And if you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody.
When Charlie...
So, who was Charlie Kirk under? Was Charlie Kirk under somebody? The answer is yes. And we'll find out in a second. Quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
At a coffee shop and play this fun. Hey, how about we meet up at a coffee shop and play this fun dating card game? We'll have fun and see if we're compatible all at the same time.
Ooh, what's the name of the game?
It's called Deeper Discussions.
I'm down.
Okay, meet you at 6.
Fellas, buy this card game. Ladies, buy this card game. Buy about 2 or 3 card games. The main reason why people can't stay together isn't because they don't like each other no more. It's actually because their present family issues come up or their past family issues come up. But when you play Deeper Discussions, you'll be able to understand a person's family issues up front.
This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group. So have fun.
Question number 1. Name a time when money was the main factor why a relationship went bad.
Deeper Discussions Dating Edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend, a potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. Actually, these cards are so soft and silky, by the way. Like
they ain't gonna get
really
wore out.
Durable.
A dating card game for introverts who have a hard time asking the much needed compatibility questions. Deeper Discussions, the card game.
All right. Make sure to By my Diva Discussions card game, this card game is for men and women to vet the opposite sex so you won't get yourself in trouble. You won't get the wrong person pregnant, or the wrong person won't get you pregnant, or so you won't get ghosted, so you won't get manipulated, so you won't get gaslighted. A lot of y'all have relationship issues. I know we're here to talk about Charlie Kirk, but the thing about it is we have to make sure that we are good ourselves in our own lives, instead of looking at everybody else's lives. So make sure to get my Deeper Discussions card game and have it as a tool in your toolbox when you meet that right woman, or when you meet that right man. This will help you see whether that person is the right one for you or not. So it will help you to understand whether y'all are compatible and y'all life goals are the same. All right, so now let's get to it. Here we go.
He speaks at a college. He just seems like any other young American conservative.
Hold on, I got back up a little bit.
My criminal cases are about. That's what all of this is about, because the entire world is a battle for influence. And if you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody.
When Charlie is 18 years old, he speaks at a college. He just seems like any other young American conservative. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. Will Montgomery sees that Charlie gets attention. While other conservative speakers are boring, young people listen to Charlie Kirk. A month later, in September 2012, he and the 18-year-old launched Turning Point USA.
What Turning Point USA stands for, what we're trying to do is we're going into the high schools and the colleges to challenge these textbooks that publish flat out falsehoods and fallacies.
It's a non-profit organization established to promote conservative values.
So who is Will Montgomery? Because this is very important. Will Montgomery is Charlie's handler. He's the person that visited Charlie once. Like Andrew Tate said, once you start growing in influence, somebody will visit you. So this person that visited Charlie, his name is Will Montgomery. Montgomery has been described as Kirk's mentor or his handler, including by advising him to start Turning Point USA rather than attending college. Montgomery also provided the initial funding to start the company. Y'all see that? In college. What about Diddy? Who came to visit Diddy? Well, actually, Diddy's mom introduced Diddy to Clive Davis. Clive Davis was Diddy's handler. And who was funding these extravagant Diddy parties that he was having in college? Clive Davis. Diddy was so popular where he sold tickets to one event and so many people came to the event. About 30 people died because they got trampled to death. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all remember that. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all remember that. Both of these were college age boys. They both got introduced to handlers because they were so hot in college. They had young boys and young girls' minds, souls, and eyes and ears. And they had them. Diddy was so popular where he had an event where kids got trampled trying to get in the event where about 30 people died. That's how hot he was in college. The same thing with Charlie Kirk in college. They were the same goddamn age that they both were the same damn age when they got their handlers.
He just seems like any other young American conservative. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. Will Montgomery sees that Charlie gets attention. While other conservative speakers are boring, young people listen to Charlie Kirk. A month later, in September 2012, he and the 18-year-old launched Turning Point USA.
What Turning Point USA stands for, what we're trying to do is we're going into the high schools and the colleges to challenge these textbooks that publish flat-out falsehoods and fallacies.
It's a nonprofit organization established to promote conservative values, specifically among young Americans through high school and college campuses.
I'm only 19 years old. I'm fighting this fight every single day. I get through to college campuses, high schools. I debate professors. I debate socialists.
It's not an immediate success, but Turning Point steadily grows into something larger than Charlie.
We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data. We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data. We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data.
Recruiting 5,000 kids. Now do y'all see the correlation? Now do y'all see that all of this has something to do with one particular thing? Children and teens. So while Diddy was over here recruiting the same age girls for traffic lights at the Diddy parties with the liquor, Charlie Kirk was over here in the white neighborhoods recruiting young girls for the same thing, unbeknownst to Charlie Kirk, because it seems like Charlie Kirk was a young man that just wanted to make a change, and his mentor most likely had a different goal. And what was the goal? What was the goal?
This fight every single day. I get through to college campuses, high schools. I debate professors. I debate socialists.
It's not an immediate success, but Turning Point steadily grows into something larger than Charlie.
We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data. I recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data. We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data, collect their data, collect their data. It's a high-energy conference for us. It's a way to reward our best members that have been...
They organize speeches with ever bigger conservative American thinkers. The young Charlie Kirk quickly becomes a fixture of the American political conservative landscape.
Charlie Kirk became a girl funnel. Charlie Kirk became a traffic light funnel. And remember, I'm using the word traffic light on purpose. And y'all stop hitting the like button. So thank you to all of the people that started hitting the like button, but y'all stopped. So can y'all take a second, just 1 second, to hit the thumbs up button, please? Whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on Instagram, just take a second to hit the like button. Thank you in advance. All right. So check this out. He was a funnel for thousands of students. And not only was he just coming to these things, he was capturing their data, their addresses, their ages, their beliefs, their genders, all of this he was capturing with Turning Point USA. Just like Diddy.
I started an organization, Turning Point USA, 2.5 years ago, around two key values: free markets and limited government.
In 2016, he speaks at the Republican National Convention. When Trump secures the Republican nomination, he and Turning Point embrace the MAGA movement. Charlie Kirk gets a direct line to the president. At the same time, he begins using modern media outlets as a way to spread his political message. But they're also a means for generating content that gets attention. He gets millions of views, in large part fueled by debates on college campuses. In 2018 comes Campus Clash, a college tour with Candace Owens. In 2024, the You're Being Brainwashed tour.
All this shit was a teen funnel, a way to funnel young women into the traffic lights. When the lights are too bright for you to see.
A college tour with former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. On September 10th, 2025, Kirk initiates the American Comeback Tour, a series of events for college students across the United States. The format includes his classic Prove Me Wrong table sessions, where he invites attendees to debate his political and cultural viewpoints in a public setting.
The Democrats know he had almost $500 million war chest, taking over the colleges, getting all the undecided, even some of the leftists, to vote and get engaged and wake up like dominoes. The brainwashing was falling. But more importantly, he was getting young conservatives to get mobilized and start getting others to vote, and they were getting energized. If you were going to piggyback, it would be the Democrats or one of their groups, a Soros group.
So yesterday, as I said, the base looked at Trump and said, "What the hell are you doing?" Okay.
Y'all listen.
And then
Y'all
Bondi
listen.
gets up there, she tries to tell us that they don't know if Jeffrey Epstein was working for another country. They don't know. They don't know.
EpiPen was working for IHOP. Mr. EpiPen was working for IHOP. Why? Because IHOP has all of the traffic lights. IHOP needs more Mini Coopers. Hopefully y'all understand what I'm saying. But if you don't, oh well, you're just going to stay lost. Because I ain't saying shit about what I'm going to say because they're not going to demonetize my goddamn channel. I ain't dealing with it. So EpiPen actually worked for IHOP, and IHOP actually had all of the traffic lights, and IHOP was using people like Diddy, people like Charlie Kirk to funnel in more Mini Coopers to travel through the traffic lights.
If he was working for another country. And yet we know, all of us know, that he was working for Israel. But Pam Bondi and the state, they don't know that. But all of us know that. And now the question is, why can't Trump admit that? I want to be clear. Jeffrey Epstein harmed
tadpoles.
Okay? How can you possibly not find the courage to stand up and say the truth about who he was doing that on behalf of? On behalf of. On behalf of.
See, this is the key issue right here. On behalf of. Why does she say on behalf of? Because you have to do certain things that you may not want to do on behalf of another interest in order for them to see that you are down with them. So you have to do this on behalf of them. You have to do that on behalf of them.
The same country that factually protects American
tadpole
pedophiles
catchers
if they move to Israel after they commit their crimes against children. We're not stupid. Everyone is waking up to what Israel is. Everyone's waking up to the stranglehold that they have in our politicians, our foreign policy. And now we're going back and we're realizing that it's maybe always been this way. That our policy is essentially when it gets caught with its pants down, our government will still rush to defend them.
Candace Owens was dropping bombs tonight on her most recent episode, Why Are They Lying About Charlie Kirk, revealing that Bill Ackman, one of Charlie's biggest donors, gave the FBI $1 million for...
Y'all hear that? One of Charlie Kirk's biggest biggest donors
will still rush to defend them.
Candace Owens was dropping bombs tonight on her most recent episode, Why Are They Lying About Charlie Kirk, revealing that Bill Ackman, one of Charlie's biggest donors, gave the FBI $1 million for a...
He was Charlie Kirk's biggest donor. See, remember earlier I said when you're a rookie and before you go to the NFL, you get a small check, right? And that is when Charlie Kirk got initial funding to start Turning Point USA. So he accepted the money the first time. Diddy accepted the money the first time because Diddy had the funding for the extravagant Diddy parties, right? That was the first check. So now you popping, everything's going good. And then as you grow, they offer you more money. And then you take the second check, which Diddy took. That was when Diddy started selling liquor. Y'all remember? Remember, Diddy ran the entire rap game for like 15 years. Then Diddy got out of the rap game and started selling Ciroc vodka for another 5-10 years. That was the second check. Do y'all see? The checks get bigger because the asks get bigger. Next thing you know, because all you got to do is follow the money. So this man right here is a billionaire, Bill Ackman, whatever the hell his name is. He pledged $1 million to find the killer. But forget about that. He was one of Charlie Kirk's biggest donors. See, what this means is Bill Ackman offered Charlie Kirk some money. He took it. So hold on. Let me back up. Bill Montgomery offered Charlie Kirk money first. Then as he grew up, got older, this other guy came in and started funneling money into Charlie Kirk's. Did they say nonprofit? Was Turning Point USA nonprofit? Why is IHOP, the country, why is IHOP spending money for Turning Point USA? Why are you funneling millions of dollars in a nonprofit that's in the United States?
Possibly not.
Somebody tell Growth Promotions what IHOP is. Catch them up, please. And please don't say a whole bunch of words. Just tell them real quick and move on. Shout out to John Benson. Thanks for all you do. Hope my wifey Candace is safe. Yeah, hopefully Candace is safe, man.
Find the courage to stand up and say the truth about who he was doing that on behalf of.
See, this is the key issue right here. On behalf of. Why does she say on behalf of? Because you have to do certain things that you may not want to do on behalf of another interest in order for them to see that you are down with them. So shout out to Seven Siati. I don't know your name. It says IHOP is you get it, right? Okay. We try to make it pretty simple. Traffic lights make sense. Mini Coopers, kids. We trying to have code words over here, and y'all a little slow. It's okay. It's okay. Certain things I don't want to say. You have to do this on behalf of them. You have to do that on behalf of them.
The same country that factually protects American pedophiles if they move to Israel after they commit their crimes against children. We're not stupid. Everyone is waking up to what Israel is. Everyone's waking up to the stranglehold that they have on our politicians, our foreign policy. And now we're going back and we're realizing that it's maybe always been this way. That our policy is essentially when it gets caught with its pants down, our government will still rush to defend them.
Candace Owens was dropping bombs tonight on her most recent episode, Why Are They Lying About Charlie Kirk, revealing that Bill Ackman, one of Charlie's biggest donors, gave the FBI $1 million for a reward to whoever identified the shooter. And now that money is going to the alleged shooter's dad. Watch this.
It's not clear to me is that the story that we were told was that Tyler Robinson allegedly, after speaking with the pastor, his dad turned him in. Bill Ackman put up $1 million, right? Thanks, Bill. You really cared about Charlie. And that money is now going to the father of this child who, after prayer and speaking to a pastor, they're saying, okay, well, he turned himself in. That we were told he turned himself in. Now we're being told that actually he hasn't confessed. So I'm just wondering, how do you turn yourself in without confessing? Because if I said
Side of my husband and Erica Kirk has the power to shut me up right now. That's it. 2 people. That's what I just said is meant to be a dig to the donors that are making frantic calls, trying to politic this situation under control.
Y'all hear that, right? The donors, like Ackman, is calling her phone.
Because they know I'm telling the truth. Okay. The truth is that Charlie was under immense pressure and he was facing financial threats over his shifting stance on Israel. That is reality, my friends. Again, I want those people to know your money means nothing to me. I already said no to it. That's why I don't care to be in those circles. Make me persona non grata. I know what I did wrong. I looked you in your face and I said no to your money. Okay. Don't push me or I will name more names. I know what you did this summer. Okay. Got to add Josh Hammer's face to that poster as well, because suddenly everybody's talking. So let's buckle up for some more indisputable facts.
Charlie Kirk was offered an infusion of $150 million by Turning Point USA has an annual budget of $140 million. Netanyahu offered Turning Point $150 million.
Did I or did I not call $150 million 5 days ago or 4 days ago? Yes or no? Did y'all remember? I said, how much do y'all think he was offered? And remember, I said $150 million? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all was in that live stream when I said $150 million was the actual amount of money that he was offered. That was before anybody even knew. It was $150 million. Yes or no? Do y'all remember? Y'all, some of y'all, some of y'all was in there. Say yes or no in the chat.
For one purpose and one purpose only: to shill for harder.
And shill for somebody is to prop up, is to give credit to, is to kiss ass to. Okay. So when he said shill for IHOP, because that's what he said, shilling for IHOP, meaning I love IHOP. IHOP can do no wrong. I eat at IHOP every day. I love their pancakes. So he was already, Charlie Kirk was already on IHOP's side, but what was going on is he found out something fishy was happening with IHOP. So he was like, I don't know. I might want to go to Waffle House. And they started being like, whoa. Here's $150 million. We need to keep you over here supporting IHOP. Don't go over to Waffle House. And that is what happened. And then he turned around and turned the money down.
Turning Point USA is already pro. They're not anti. They've never been. Charlie Kirk has in the past criticized Bibi Netanyahu. He has criticized secular left-wing in America. He has criticized a war with Iran. He has never opposed in itself. Offered him $150 million to be more pro than they already were, to be harder in their support. And Charlie Kirk refused the money. And I have independently confirmed that, by the way. I've heard that from 4 people. 4 people that I trust that are in the know. So this is coming from Candace Owens, a friend of Charlie Kirk. This is coming from Max Blumenthal, who purports to have a source. And I have heard from a handful of people independently of those sources that this offer was real and that Kirk turned down the money. Netanyahu asked if he would come visit Jerusalem and give him the re-education tour. The one that Elon Musk took, the one that our Speaker of the House took, anyone that's ever criticized been subjected to, he refused that as well. They offered to bribe him.
is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like.
Hold on, y'all. We got breaking news. This just in, straight from CNN.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions.
Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband. I played this game with my mother yesterday, and she told me things I never knew about her.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
The best $28 that you'll ever spend. And another card game. And if you buy both together, you'll get free shipping. So everybody click the link that you see in the chat. Click the blue link in the chat. It's 2 blue links in the chat. They're safe. Click either one of them and just look around and see if it's something that you would like to purchase. They're only $28. Everybody watching, buy a card game, either for your mother, for your daughter, for your girl, for somebody that you're friends with, or if you're a woman, for yourself. And for the fellas or the ladies, buy this card game, Like Mother, Deeper Discussions. And if you buy both card games, you'll get free shipping. And I also have a course, an emotional attachment course on the website also. So just click the blue link that you see in the chat, or click the link that is under this video and check out some stuff and see if it's something that you'll be interested in. No pressure. I'm just here to offer assistance to the people who have relationship problems, family or romantic.
Educate him, he refused both offers.
I tried to tell y'all that Diddy did not groom Cassie. Let's go down a rabbit hole. Cassie started modeling at 14. Modeling is the gateway into... Cassie used to model for a clothing brand called A&F. I gotta keep it cute here on TikTok. The guy who used to be the CEO...
Y'all know what A&F is? Y'all know what A&F is? Somebody say in the chat. Who is A&F? Come on, y'all. Y'all smart. Who did Cassie work for before she got with Ryan Leslie? Who is A&F? Come on, y'all.
Tell y'all that Diddy did not groom Cassie. Let's go down a rabbit hole. Cassie started modeling at 14. Modeling is the gateway into... Cassie
traffic lights
used to model for a clothing brand called A&F.
So we all know what they were doing. They got caught up in the same scandal that Diddy got caught up in, right? The same exact scandal. So Cassie was over there before she even got with Ryan Leslie, or while she was with Ryan Leslie, but well before she got with Diddy. So Cassie was not a victim. And I said that from the beginning. Cassie was a whore. I said that from the beginning. And when you was able to see all the proof when they was in court, you see Cassie was a whole whore.
I gotta keep it cute here on TikTok. The guy who used to be the CEO of A&F got exposed for quid pro quo, doing the same thing that Diddy be doing.
Yep.
Cassie was dating Ryan Leslie while she was still in high school. I always said between the modeling and her dating a grown-ass man, it's because...
The parents. Is she going to say the parents? Please say the parents. Because it's always the parents.
Her parents in exchange for her, which is why her...
It's the goddamn parents. Cassie's parents handed her over to not Diddy, Ryan Leslie, Abby Cumbry, and whoever. I don't want to say the whole name. Not Diddy. Diddy just seen what she was over there doing. He seen that she was over there whoring, and he was like, hey, I want you to whore over here. She was already a whore.
Parents don't
She was a hoa.
I don't believe that her parents had to take out a second mortgage on her house. I don't believe that. Stay woke. I don't believe that. But anywho, Lindsay Lohan.
What's up, Scott? Shout out to John Benson. Thank you so much for the super chat. Y'all drop a super chat. Shout out to John. Or either drop a Cash App. Contribute to the channel, y'all. Cash App is $AARON 1000. $AARON 1000. Cash App. Drop a $5 Cash App, $10 Cash App, $20 Cash App. If every last one of y'all dropped a $10 Cash App, I would be rich. Come on, y'all. Contribute to the channel. So John Benson said, just found you randomly, and I'm glad I did. Your content is great. I'm subscribed and a fan. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. And if you could take a moment to talk about the left-right paradigm, whatever, I can't, paradigm illusion. Keep doing your thing. Watch every day. Thank you. What is the paradigm? I know what it is, the little thing, but I don't understand. What's the illusion? Wait, let me see. If you could take a moment to talk about the left, right, what is that word? Paradigm or whatever, illusion. I don't know what that is. What is that? So can you please elaborate on the paradigm illusion? I don't know what that means. I'm a little slow. Okay. Paradigm. Okay. What is that? What is a paradigm illusion? I don't know. Left, right. He said left, right, paradigm illusion. Like, I don't know what that means. What is that? I have no idea.
What's her name? Lana Del Rey, Heidi Klum, and Channing Tatum also used to model for that clothing brand. And that's how they, started climbing the Hollywood pyramid. Mm-hmm. I keep trying to tell y'all, bro. This shit goes deep. They're only showing you what they want you to know. They're not going to expose too much because they don't want to, their whole operation to be exposed. But the CEO of that brand, used to be cool with, and I tried to tell you earlier about fronts. Abercrombie & Fitch really was selling clothes, but they also were running.
They were a front for the traffic lights.
A background operation where people would move from place to place, and when they moved from place to place, they
like Diddy had the tunnels, right? Do y'all see the correlation between Cassie, Abercrombie & Fitch, Charlie Kirk, IHOP? All of this stuff is all the same shit. It's just different players. It's like football. It's just different football teams. You got actors doing the shit. You got rappers doing the shit. And now we're starting to see that young politician people are doing the shit. Unbeknownst to us, it's all the same thing. All of it is about traffic lights and Mini Coopers. It's sad, y'all.
Would get undressed when they did. So, you know what I'm saying? I gotta keep it cute because TikTok don't really like this topic, but I just say all that to say, by the time Cassie made it to Diddy, she was already involved in that life. Let's talk in the comments.
Has anybody seen Justin Bieber's Instagram? He posted shipping containers with a photo of a baby on a blanket underneath.
I wonder why Justin Bieber is talking about shipping containers.
Captioned, I got anger issues too, but I want to grow and not react so much. Yo. In the same post, there's a picture of him as...
I'm not saying he was or not Charlie Kirk seems like a pretty upstanding guy, but it's a possibility that he didn't know what the funders of Turning Point agency was actually doing. Maybe he knew, maybe he didn't know. But I would say he didn't know because he started refusing the money. He started talking bad about IHOP. You know what I'm saying? So I think he was innocent and didn't know. So I'm not saying he was complicit. And you got to think about it. He's dead. So according to just all of the actions that just happened, he didn't know. And he probably found out and was like, wait, what? My whole Turning Point agency was set up so we can set up traffic lights? What? And next thing you know, bow. So no, I don't think he knew.
A child. And who remembers a few months back when there was demands to open the shipping containers? Look at the location, Diddy's house, and look what's right here. Look. Evergreen. And who remembers this episode of Dexter? Evergreen. Remember Harry found him in the shipping container? Bro.
When the roommate looked under the keyboard, there was a note that allegedly...
All right, so I want to get too far. We'll stop right there. And then because now we're gonna let's get into these shipping container conversations real quick.
Isn't lying about the underground tunnels in schools, and I'm gonna tell you.
So listen to this. This is in actual schools. Turn up your volume just a little bit. She's talking a little low.
I know that Allie Carter isn't lying about the underground tunnels in schools, and I'm gonna tell you why. I just recorded this video and I realized that I didn't use the terminology the correct way for TikTok, so I had to re-record this. Okay, so let's get into it. When I was in junior high school in Queens, New York, I went to a school called RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And it was in Queens, New York. I had a group of friends who loved spooky things. We had just recently found out from I think she was the school counselor. I think so. Yeah, she was a school counselor. I can't remember her name. But she had told us a story about a girl in the 80s who had been unalived and raped in our school locker room. In our school locker room. So of course we're like, whoa, right? Like we're finding this out. We use that locker room every day for PE. So we were like, so my friends took it upon themselves. They had the brilliant idea of bringing over a Ouija board and wanting to summon stuff. I wasn't about it. I didn't even know what a Ouija board was. They had to explain to me what it was, and I did not like what they told me. Anyways, fast forward, we change in the girls' locker room, we go to PE, we go back to change, and there was a door in the back of the girls' locker room to the right that was on the ground. It was more like a sturdy metal, just a platform, I guess. And it had a handle on it. And we used to always mess with it. We would be like, oh, let's see if we can open it today. You know, like mess with it all the time. And we do PE, we go back to change, back into our regular clothing, and it's wide open. And I used to change in the second row to the left. I remember always going left. That's all I remember.
No, Ben, I don't know what the paradigm mean. I don't know. I'm sorry, but I don't know what the paradigm, the left and right. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know. See, I'm proud to say I don't know something because I'm always looking to learn more.
And a lot of the girls used to change in that row where the door was. And one of the girls goes, "The door's open." So, of course, we're all in the middle of changing. I'm probably finishing up changing. We run to the back. It's open. And there's
Like
light
dummies.
emanating from below it. And, of course, girls start jumping down the hole. And I'm scared. I'm like...
Shout out to Valerie. Thank you so much for the $10 Cash App. Thank you so much. Cash App is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Thank you so much, Valerie. Cash App is $AARON 1000. Just drop a $10 Cash App and, you know, keep it moving. Buy me lunch or something if you want, because it takes a lot of work trying to go down these rabbit holes or whatever. And every time I do these rabbit holes, whole videos, I take responsibility for all my actions, but it puts me in a position where I could potentially get demonetized and lose income altogether because I'm trying to entertain y'all. So it is always helpful when y'all contribute, whether it's a super chat, a Cash App, and of course, when you buy one of my card games. So, you know, contribute to the channel because this shit is scary. I'm just being real. This shit is really scary.
I'm not doing that. But I look. Tunnels in each direction.
Tunnels.
They ran down and they were screaming and they were running back, and I was like, y'all should probably get back up here. I thought it was extra weird because of the events that I knew that had taken place back in the 80s that we had just learned about. Didn't like it. Didn't like how my body felt. So I stood back. And I observed them and I kind of held space. I thought it was weird because you can see when someone enters the locker room and there was no other way to enter or exit other than going through the gymnasium. So whoever opened it from inside the locker room while we were in PE. All this to say, there are tunnels underground schools. I saw them with my own eyes. We never questioned it again. We didn't ask anyone. We didn't ask teachers. We didn't ask the coach. We didn't ask anyone. We were just like, whoa, that was so cool. That was so weird. Why is that there? And we didn't think anything further of it. And now this girl is telling us that that's how they sex traffic kids. Man.
Yep.
We need to pray her up. Things are coming to light. We need to strengthen our spirit. We need to pray for the protection of our children.
Yeah. All right. We're back to this.
Bro.
When the roommate looked under the keyboard, there was a note that allegedly...
So right here is what the Patsy, the fake shooter, he left a fake note, because all this shit was fake with this little dude that they're saying was the sniper. This little dude didn't do nothing. He's just taking, you know, somebody's probably telling him, like, hey, you gonna do this or we're gonna get rid of you, just like we got rid of him. So he just got to go to prison just because he was there. I don't know. But this is the fake note that he left. And this shit is crazy. It just sounds dumb as hell.
Read, I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it.
I am still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet.
Young people don't say my love. That sounds like some old people shit. So it starts off just wrong. Ain't no young person, ain't no Generation Z talking about, hey, I just did it, my love. Who the fuck talks like that?
Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you.
Thank you, John.
You weren't the one who did it, right?
I am. I'm sorry.
I thought they caught the person.
No. They grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated some.
First of all, how do you know what they grabbed or who they grabbed and you running through some goddamn woods? How do you know? You're the one person that doesn't know because you're hiding from the goddamn police. You in the goddamn woods. How do you know what happened to somebody else after you left? Because this shit is a lie. This shit is stupid.
Someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering.
Why?
Why did I do it?
Yeah.
I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out.
This sounds so
If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have.
Now, right here, if he said, if I had my way, I would have left no evidence. But this stupid idiot, one, left this fake letter, and two, he left the goddamn rifle. So how can you turn around and say, I'm not going to leave any evidence, but you leave evidence? Because the shit is fake.
It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering.
Why?
Why did I do it?
Yeah.
I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it.
How long have you been planning this?
A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. I think they already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. I'm wishing I had circled back and...
Can we get to 1,000 likes, please? And thank you. Can we get to 1,000 likes? 1,000 of you have not hit the like button. 1,000 of you watching right now did not hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button.
Grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. EDEC if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about Prince. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits.
Who the hell is sitting around telling their love, the person that they love, about some goddamn fingerprints? Like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. And this is what the feds came out with.
Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon.
Bring it with? Thank you, Ben. Hit the thumbs up button, y'all. Who says I didn't bring it with?
Abandon it and hope they don't find Prince.
So stupid.
How the will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices bulge ooh-woo on Fox News, I might have a stroke all right, I'm gonna have to leave it. That really sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine IDK. I think that was a 2K like scope. Delete this exchange. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me RN, not answering. Since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. I'm gonna turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. You are all I worry about, love.
I'm much more worried about you.
The dumbest shit I ever heard in my goddamn life. They think we're stupid. Quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
How about we meet up at a coffee shop and play this fun dating card game? We'll have fun and see if we're compatible all at the same time.
Ooh, what's the name of the game?
It's called Deeper Discussions.
I'm down.
Remember, if you buy both card games, you'll get free shipping. If you get both card games, you'll get free shipping.
Okay, meet you at 6.
Fellas, buy this card game. Ladies, buy this card game. Buy about 2 or 3 card games. The main reason why people can't stay together isn't because they don't like each other no more. It's actually because their present family issues come up or their past family issues come up. But when you play Deeper Discussions, you'll be able to understand a person's family issues up front.
This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group. So have fun.
Question number 1. Name a time when money was the main factor why a relationship went bad.
Deeper discussions dating edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend,
Candidate.
a potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. Actually, these cards are so soft and silky, by the way. Like
They ain't gonna get
really
wore out.
durable.
A dating card game for introverts who have a hard time asking the much needed compatibility questions. Deeper Discussions, the card game.
Mr. Lucian Grange, the reason why Abel test.
All right, so now let's put together the missing pieces. I'm going to play 2 particular videos about this, and now it's going to tie up all of the loose ends. Just in case you're wondering, I still don't understand. So we're going to talk about the rap game and how it turns into banks. All right, let's go.
SFA, aka The Weeknd, is in the position of which he is, which let me say this is for educational purposes only. But what if I told you there's a very dark history behind Lucian? That even Lucian himself has a puppet master. Let's keep in mind, Lucian is the chairman and chief executive officer of Universal Music Group.
And remember, we're talking about IHOP, right? We're going down a rabbit hole, yes. Remember, we're talking about IHOP, right? The country. Remember that. We're not even talking about America. So that is all the way up here. And then we're looking at who is like pulling the strings.
Oh yeah, the same exact one that's bringing its music back to TikTok. Let's do keep in mind before I go any further though, Mr. Lucian Grange is under pressure from a lot of allegations. Allegations of sponsoring and financing every single one of P. Diddy's parties. Every single party of where P. Diddy's allegations and
Lucian Grange was sponsoring Diddy's parties. Just like what's the guy's name? Just like Bill Montgomery was funding Kirk's Turning Point USA.
themselves originate from, saying that Lucian aided and abetted Combs' behavior by sponsoring gatherings where underage girls were reportedly drugged and provided vast sums of money to Combs, who allegedly used it for what? But like I said, the music industry is very dark, and there's always another puppet master. This is Mr. Lear Cohen. How do you think Lucian Grange got that position to begin with?
Lear Cohen. Watch where Lear Cohen came from.
Oh, you guessed it, aka the tall Israeli.
The tall who? The tall who? What'd he say? What'd he say? Lear Cohen. He's from IHOP. Y'all know who Lear Cohen is. Lear Cohen is from IHOP.
Music industry is very dark, and there's always another puppet master. This is Mr. Lear Cohen. How do you think Lucian Grange got that position to begin with? Oh, you guessed it, aka the tall Israeli.
The tall Israeli. This is what I'm talking about. IHOP runs everything. Y'all see what I'm saying? Put a 1 in the chat if you easily are able to see the correlation that I made between Diddy and Mr. Kirk. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate it. Put a 1 in the chat or say yes if you can see the correlation that I'm making between Diddy and Charlie Kirk, and why Diddy is in jail and why Charlie Kirk is dead. Diddy was doing everything they wanted him to do. He just started getting sued. And when you get sued, the court start asking for discovery. And in order to stop the discovery portion of the lawsuit, they had to arrest Diddy and put him in jail. So now he's facing criminal charges. And as long as you're facing criminal charges, your lawsuits that are civil stay to the side, which means no discovery.
And of course, Lyra Cohen is a global head of music at Google and YouTube. But this man is a very high authority figure in the music industry. Because let's keep in mind, Cohen worked on the label side of the music industry at companies.
Yes, IHOP is a country that starts with an I. We're using IHOP because it starts with an I. So the country that you may think of that starts with an I is who we're talking about. We just don't say the country over here. Because I personally know, well, not personally, I know somebody that just got their YouTube channel demonetized because they kept talking about IHOP in every goddamn video.
Including Warner Music, Def Jam, Island Def Jam, and 300 Entertainment. I do keep in mind, Lyra Cohen in himself is somebody that Tupac and himself was sketched out about. And ironically, not even 2 years after Tupac's death, in 1998 and 1999, Cohen brokered the deal to sell Def Jam to Universal, creating the Island Def Jam music group, which combined Def Jam, Mercury, and Island Records. And as you can see at that time, artists under his watch at Island Def Jam included none other than Jay-Z, Bon Jovi, Ludacris, and Mariah Carey, just to name a few. All very sketchy artists, but like I said, Mr. Lyra Cohen himself is the victim of many allegations, including from a CIA agent that confessed the agency's created rap music to fill private prisons. Mr. John Homestead, a retired CIA agent, has admitted on national Russian television that hip-hop was a psyop invented by the CIA in the 1980s, and the agency is
Hip-hop was a psyop meant to put black people in prison.
direct and finance household name artists including NWA, Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, and Kanye West. Kanye tried to tell everybody about this years ago. And of course, nobody wanted to listen. But John Homestead said that our mission was to use teenage angst to our advantage and turn Generation X into a decadent, pro-drug, and anti-establishment culture that would create uprisings and further division within society, saying that the CIA even infiltrated mainstream radio to promote their music and reach millions of people every day. He also says when it comes to engineering culture, no one touches Lyra Cohen. Homestead admitted Lyra Cohen, also known as the tall Israeli who runs hip-hop, used specific artists like these. I'm sure everybody.
The tall Israeli that runs hip-hop. He works for IHOP.
Knows who all of these people are to gain specific influence in society. See, like it says here, Cohen ended up promoting rappers such as Jay-Z and Kanye West, and more recently brought Migos and Young Thug to prominence. Well, obviously Kanye knew what he was talking about. But see, Kanye himself, alongside John Homestead, stated that the elites have been slowly working on eroding social norms for decades, and forcing famous black men to normalize the sight of men in dresses was a part of the agenda. And here's the thing, right? A music industry executive.
Stop right there for a second. Remember what they just said. Men in dresses. So let's bring up the men in dresses just for a second, because I just want to show you all of the correlations, everything that I'm putting together. The men in dresses. Where are the men in the dresses? Where the girls at? Come on, girls. Come on out, girls. Here we go. Here we go. The men in dresses. Oh, shit. Hold on, y'all. I don't mess something up. I got to show y'all this, and then we'll get back to this. I just had it. Come on, man. Sorry, y'all. Here we go, right here.
To go publicly and say we can't throw our sister under the bus. When you tell the truth, you have to deal with the repercussions of the truth. We black out here. We can't come out here.
The men in dresses is all connected.
Do it any kind of way we want to. This is the money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game. This is the money game.
What's up, Carmel?
And you cannot sacrifice yourself. The best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them.
For the money game, it's called the integrity game. And we've lost the integrity.
You see how Steve Harvey is up there sounding like a whole goddamn slave?
Worrying about the money.
But Mo, I cannot, for the sake of my integrity, so I can make a statement.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I'll be all the monkey you can stand. Be picking shit off me looking at it. I be digging in my ass.
Evan told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on.
Tyler Perry fooled the whole black community. He got us to do what RuPaul couldn't get us to do. Through humor, he got us to accept drag queens. That's all.
See, if you become part of the agenda and, you know, push young people to be gay, push young people to be alcoholics, you get paid.
All Medea is a drag queen. So, and you know what he did? He went to churches. He went to churches, went to a place where he could go where you could almost guarantee folk ain't gonna be thinking. Won't nobody say, wait a minute. This man can't find an overweight black woman to play that part. You can't find a fat sister? And through the devil learning how to manipulate our emotions, we let our guard down and made him a billionaire. And made him a billionaire.
Yep. All right, so back to this.
At the first meeting between the CIA and music industry executives has written a confessional letter detailing exactly what went down on that fateful day in a specific video that is no longer available online. Yeah, I'm sure that's not sketchy in itself, right? Or the fact that John Holmeston said that the CIA worked in tandem with music industry elite to create a funnel in which young people would be indoctrinated with brainwash.
Create a funnel. Remember we talked about the funnel with Charlie Kirk? He said funnel. They create funnels. They're called teen funnels. Create a funnel. He said it. Same thing with Charlie Kirk.
Gangster rap music, and then delivered to the highly profitable private prison system. In order to create this funnel, the CIA introduced music industry owners to the private prison industry. See, that's where Time Warner comes in, because let's keep in mind, like I stated at the beginning of this video, Leroy Cohen himself was a very high authority figure at Time Warner. And as you can see, some of the biggest names in the music industry are in cahoots with private prison owners. And as you can see in 2021, CoreCivic, formerly known as Corrections Corporation of America, the biggest name in the private prisons industry, contacted 48 states offering to buy their prisons. See, there was one particular requirement of eligibility for the deal, saying that an assurance by the agency partner that the agency has sufficient inmate population to maintain a 90% occupancy rate over the term of the contract. And here's the sketchy part that this article paints very well.
That's it. Their jobs is to push rap music in order to get young men to get pushed to want to do crimes, shoot each other, and hate each other. Shout out to John. Thank you so much for the super chat. You are a great content creator, not a racist. Don't fall into the traps they want you to fall in. You think for yourself and then share. Beautiful thing. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate it.
All right. In the year 2012, a mere 232 media executives in the U.S. were responsible for controlling all avenues necessary.
Zazus, thank you so much for this $10 super sticker. Appreciate you.
To manufacture any celebrity and spark any trend. And of course, Time Warner, as the owner of Warner Brothers Records, can not only sign an artist, but since they are also the owners of Entertainment Weekly, they can also put an artist on the cover of magazines by next week. Like it says right here, you think you choose what you listen to, but do you really? Here's the most important part that this article paints very well. BET and MTV are owned by Viacom. When ownerships of these mass media conglomerates is cross-checked with the biggest names in private prison ownership, the largest owner of CoreCivic, like I just named, formerly Corrections Corporation of America, is none other than Vanguard Group Incorporated.
Vanguard, Viacom are all connected to the prison system. And all of those are connected to who? IHOP. IHOP is controlling Vanguard, BlackRock, and all these other places and the prison system in order to keep us messed up.
Incorporated. The corporation that works very closely with BlackRock and Larry Fink. You know, the corporation who basically has the highest shares in every single major corporation that resides out of America? Yeah, that one. Vanguard is the #1 shareholder in both Viacom and Time Warner. Vanguard is also the largest holder in the GEO group, the second largest owner of private prisons in the entire USA. Like it says here, the people who own the media and are responsible for putting gangster rap at the center of youth culture are the very same people who own private prisons. So you tell me why this deal is a problem. You tell me why major artists really don't like Drake. Because I'm pretty sure it's obvious at this point. Drake is what you would call a sellout, and Kendrick truly knows how the industry runs. But you keep allowing yourself to be consumed by those frequencies.
Do y'all remember like 3 years ago when Crazy Bone had exposed the industry? And he basically was talking about how all these record labels, you know what I'm saying, invest in private prisons. So pretty much their main goal is to get us to go to prison. They're paying the artists to influence us to try to live like.
So all of this is going on in the black community, and Charlie Kirk has a sponsor trying to get him to get the white community messed up. So we got, I'll just say it. We got, Diddy, we got Lear Cohen over here screwing us up, but Charlie Kirk has those people over there screwing up the white kids.
Them. And that's why a lot of artists don't come out saying, oh, I went to school to get where I'm at now. You feel me? All these artists act like they came from the streets. They're only giving big deals to artists that's agreeing to destroy the black community. Think about all these new artists and what they promoting. At this meeting that Crazy Bone was talking about, guess what? There wasn't no country artists there, and that's why I say the black community.
Music business has invested millions of dollars in the private prison system. Somebody sent me an article, I think it was like 6 or 7 years ago. Right. But it's actually a letter that was written by somebody that was a decision maker at a major label. He was invited to a very special meeting about the future of hip hop back in 1991. And the title of the letter is The Secret Meeting That Changed Rap Music.
Yes, it rhymes with news.
And destroyed a generation. I have struggled for a long time weighing the pros and cons of making my story public, as I was reluctant to implicate the individuals who were present that day. So I've simply decided to leave out the names and all the details that may risk my personal well-being and that of those who were, like me, dragged into something they weren't ready for. We ain't scared.
You know what I'm saying? What they gonna do?
They after us, not just playing.
Look, that black van.
So I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Little did I know we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices ever seen.
Okay.
The meeting was held at a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people were there, most of them familiar faces. Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be from our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked.
Shout out to Robert. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, Mr. Let Go, for the amazing content. I always learn something new and have especially found it useful in my recent personal life. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate the kind words. Thank you for saying that. That makes my day.
To sign a confidentiality agreement preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. And consequences were stated that violating the terms would result in job termination immediately.
And for anybody just coming in, this is a conversation that was being had with record execs and the prison foundation or whatever, the prison, whatever, right? And record execs was sitting there wondering, like, I don't understand, what does making music have to do with prisons? And that's kind of like what he's about to explain here.
A few people refused to sign and walked out. Nobody stopped them. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement.
Damn.
He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact.
Wait, what? Charlie Kirk and George Floyd have the same birthday? Hold on. Does Charlie Kirk... Okay, hold on. What is Charlie Kirk's birthday? October 14th. What is George Floyd's birthday? Yo, what the hell? Yo, what the hell? Charlie Kirk and George Floyd has the same goddamn birthday. What the hell is going on? They both was killed by a white man in front of everybody. Oh, shit. Yo. Everybody drop the brain exploding emoji right now. Everybody drop the brain mind-blowing emoji in the chat. Spam the chat with mind-blown emojis. I just need a second. This shit is getting scarier and scarier and scarier. Charlie Kirk and George Floyd has the same goddamn birthday. Let me hold on. Let me make sure. Okay. George Floyd's birthday is October 14th. Just want to double check. When is Charlie Kirk's birthday? October 14th. Yo. What the fuck?
The profitability of these investments. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who receive funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. My industry colleague who had first opened.
So in other words, Leon Cohen and the record companies can buy shares in the privately owned prison system and then promote music that pushes young people to go to the prisons that they are not funding, but investing in.
The meeting took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employees had become silent investors in this prison business.
No, they both died from neck injuries. Oh my God. Oh my God. Not only does George Floyd and Charlie Kirk, have the same birthday, they both died of neck injuries. They both was killed by their throats. Oh my God.
It was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. He assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies.
Nicole, thank you so much for hanging out and being the moderator.
And as employees, we'd also be able to buy stocks in these prisons.
So now let's go farther, even deeper. Let's go even deeper.
Industry has a really dark side. But see, you probably know that already. But how deep does the rabbit hole really go? In this video, we'll be diving deep into the rabbit hole of the music industry. Now, it's interesting with all the documents that have been coming out about Diddy, right? Because there's...
And before I play that, I just want to catch people up on this, just in case some of the people did not see this part when we first started.
Arresting Diddy was to shut.
Because I want to tie up some things from the other side.
So you think the point of arresting Diddy was to shut down inquiry into what Diddy was doing?
Get the data, right? I think they did it to get all the data away from Diddy because he was being sued in civil court. And so they arrest Diddy. What'd they just convict him of? Nothing.
Well, that's clearly the point of the first Jeffrey Epstein arrest.
Wiener's laptop had kill switches in it. It was filled with crap that wasn't supposed to be there. We never get to see it. Supposedly 9 cops watch the videos on Wiener's laptop. They had to keep leaving the room because they couldn't stand what they were seeing. And all 9 are now dead. And there's names and faces and deadness, right? They're real people. Now you can say, well, maybe they died for other reasons. I go, but it's still 9 cops. You know, it's like the 5 cops who died after January 6th, right? 4 of them were suicides. According to AI, there were about 80 cops really in the thick of things. 4 of them died from suicide.
The famous really have a big problem. I'm one of the only people who managed to get globally famous and renowned without having a gatekeeper. If you're on a basketball team, if you say anything you're not supposed to say, you're off the team. If you're an actress and you say something you're not supposed to say, the producers won't hire you anymore. Record labels, YouTube, there's always someone who will shut you down if you start speaking in a way you're not supposed to speak. And the way they avoid this from happening is the same thing they tried to do to me. I got offered $55 million to sign a contract, and that contract was a sponsorship contract. But to avoid brand damage, I had to shut up about certain issues and change my opinions on certain things. And I declined the money. And soon after that, I was arrested. So what they try and do is give you a gatekeeper if you get famous without one, but primarily people only get famous because of their gatekeeper. All of these famous people aren't even famous. They cannot allow you to be influential if they don't control you. That's what Epstein's Island was about. That's what my criminal cases are about. That's what all of this is about, because the entire world is a battle for influence. And if you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody. If you're influential, they need to get you under somebody.
When Charlie is 18 years old, he speaks at a college. He just seems like any other young American conservative. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. But at that college, he catches someone's eye. Will Montgomery sees that Charlie gets attention. While other conservative speakers are boring, young people listen to Charlie Kirk. A month later, in September 2012, he and the 18-year-old launched Turning Point USA.
What Turning Point USA stands for, what we're trying to do is we're going into the high schools and the colleges to challenge these textbooks that publish flat out falsehoods and fallacies.
It's a nonprofit organization established to promote conservative values, specifically among young Americans through high school and college campuses.
I'm only 19 years old. I'm fighting this fight every single day. I get through to college campuses, high schools. I debate professors. I debate socialists.
It's not an immediate success, but Turning Point steadily grows into something larger than Charlie.
We'll probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data. Probably recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data. We'll probably...
You see, like the earlier video I just played was recruiting young rappers and getting the young rappers to influence young people to do crimes so they can go to prison to fund the private prison industry, right? That's going over in the black community, while over in the white community, they are tricking Charlie Kirk into recruiting young kids into being traffic lights over in the white community. It's all the same thing, whether it's black people or white people. They just got to do it differently. They do it in the hood with black people, but they do it in the colleges with white people. This is how they get young white people. You always knew how they got young black people. This is how they get young white people.
Recruit 4,000 to 5,000 new students, collect their data. It's a high energy conference for us. It's a way to reward our best members that have been...
They organize speeches with ever bigger conservative American thinkers. The young Charlie Kirk quickly becomes a fixture of the American political conservative landscape.
I started an organization, Turning Point USA, 2.5 years ago, around 2 key values: free markets and limited government.
In 2016, he speaks at the Republican National Convention. When Trump secures the Republican nomination, he and Turning Point embrace the MAGA movement. Charlie Kirk gets a direct line to the president.
All right, so now let's go back to this. Just showing y'all the correlation between all of this.
No longer any mention of any minors in those documents, right? But there's also no mention of an individual named Lucian Grange. But we'll get to Lucian here in a second. And as you can see in the indictment, prosecutors allege that since
Thank you, John. I appreciate you.
2008, supposedly, that Combs has been part of a criminal organization that engaged or attempted to engage in sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, obstruction of justice, and other offenses. But it's really interesting over the years who Diddy himself decided to associate himself with, which just so happens to ironically be a lot of people that just so happen to be on the Epstein list. But I'm sure that's no surprise to anybody. But what is really interesting is the fact that Diddy earlier this year just so happened to allegedly hire Bobby Sternheim to replace New York City Attorney Jonathan Davis to represent him in court, which previously made headlines for defending Ghislaine Maxwell in her sex trafficking case. And allegedly, according to some other reports, Sternheim also previously represented Osama bin Laden's henchman, Khalid Al-Fawaz, in his 2015 trial over the 1998 U.S. embassy bombings in Africa that killed more than 200 people. So very interesting person for Diddy to reach out to, right? But it's also interesting because Epstein in himself was renowned to be doing those activities of his own during the 2008 time period. And right in the midst of a lot of this being put out into the public, the 2008 financial collapse just so coincidentally happened. And I'm sure something like that, especially with how big it was, would take a lot of attention off of something like that. But hey, who am I to tell you the obvious, right? But how deep does the rabbit hole with the music industry really go, one might ask? Well, to discover that, we'd have to start looking at somebody like Lucian Grange. And like I mentioned, Lucian Grange in himself just so happened to coincidentally take himself out of the court case with Diddy from the allegations that were placed against him, as Lucian himself had allegations against him for financing those Diddy parties, saying that basically it's bullshit. But is it? Because if you look into a lot of history with Diddy and Lucian Grange, there's a lot of it. And just like Taylor and P. Diddy back in 2009, Lucian Grange and P. Diddy himself were pretty close in 2009. So how do you not know that one of your top performing artists under your label aren't performing these acts? I'm sure it's something that's just really easy to miss, right? But you know what's interesting, because Taylor Swift and herself was renowned to be at a lot of these parties. And God, when you just so happen to look into who Taylor Swift's father is, it all starts to make a lot of sense. See, I've done a video on Scott Kingsley Swift, right? And he's a very interesting individual, especially considering the fact that he just so happened to be a financial advisor for Merrill Lynch. And Scott Swift and himself was renowned to be pretty good friends with somebody named John Thane. And see, Mr. John Alexander Thane was an American financial executive and investment banker. And he was president and co-COO of Goldman Sachs, but also the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange. And Thane then became the last chairman and CEO of Merrill Lynch & Co. before its merger with Bank of America. The history of Bank of America is really interesting, by the way. But that's something we'll touch upon in another video. Now, it's interesting because John Thane was the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange during the 2008 financial collapse. But see, Goldman Sachs was criticized for allegedly misleading its investors and profiting from the collapse of the mortgage market during the 2007 and 2008 financial crisis. This led to investigations from the United States Congress and the United States Department of Justice and a lawsuit from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, which definitely don't just so happen to have a lot of members that just so happen to be on the Epstein list as well. Yeah, definitely not. You definitely can't find anything on that. But you know what's interesting about Taylor Swift and the reasons why I'm talking about Goldman Sachs and Merrill Lynch? Because right when Taylor Swift's career took off, just like in 2006, BlackRock acquired Merrill Lynch's investment managers division, merging the two companies and expanding BlackRock's international and retail presence. But see, Merrill Lynch received a 49.5% stake in the company, while PNC's ownership was halved. 49.5% of BlackRock, but yet none of Merrill Lynch's associates are on BlackRock's board of directors. And now Taylor Swift's father just so happens to be involved heavily in the music industry as well. And do you know how much money that people like her father made during the 2008 financial crisis? Let's just say that multimillionaires became billionaires within just a couple of years. So I'm sure it was a lot easier to hide what was going on behind closed doors. But Taylor Swift and herself is a whole nother rabbit hole that we're not going to dive into right now. But I just want you to know that there's a lot of people in the music industry that definitely know about what was going on. You feel me? And with Taylor Swift, well, let's just say a plant can easily be watered. If you know, you know. And when it comes to money, anybody can be consumed by the industry. And it's funny because people like P. Diddy were those exact individuals. What, you think P. Diddy made all of his money from music? And if you don't think by now that Diddy was the Epstein of the music industry, then you're truly choosing to be delusional. But see, just like Epstein, there's always figures of higher authority. There's always going to be the puppets that are truly pulling the strings.
So remember, he just said, you think Diddy made the majority of his money off of music? No, he made the majority of the money off of alcohol and the Ciroc situation.
Strings, right? And I'm not going to confirm whether or not Lucian is one of those individuals, but I'm pretty sure it's obvious to figure out for yourself. Now, see, Lucian himself, right? He grew up in a what family in North London? And I'm sure that's to no surprise. And see, in 2008 as well, ironically, Grange received the Music Industry Trust Award, which recognizes the world's most successful music.
Growth Promotion says, look up Temple, what? I don't know what that is.
Executives. And he was also knighted in the 2016 birthday honors for services to British business and inward investment. And in 2016 as well, he was inaugurated to appointment to the Order of the British Empire and Knight Bachelor. So of course, knighted by the Queen. I'm sure that's no surprise. If you don't know of the controversial history of the Queen of England herself, then you really need to get in touch with reality. Because that in itself is a very deep rabbit hole to dive into. And if anybody would like me to do that in the future, I gladly will. But see, Lucian in himself is also just taking a step up that ladder. And once you continue to go up that ladder, there's no coming back down. Especially not when you just so happen to get to individuals like Leor Cohen. Gotta love that hand sign right there, right? See, this Leor Cohen right here, which just so happens to be ironically standing right next to Diddy. Now see, Leor Cohen and Lucian Grange in real life are pretty damn good friends. Primarily because UMG, aka Universal Music, which Lucian Grange just so happens to be the CEO of, is a big partner of YouTube and YouTube Music. And Leor Cohen is
Uh-oh. Now we're talking about YouTube.
Obviously the global head of music at Google and YouTube. So do know it's eventually all connected, okay?
Y'all see that, right? It's all connected. Leor Cohen is over YouTube.
But see, Cohen joined Google at the end of 2016, right? And he previously acted as CEO of 300 Entertainment, which he co-founded. Which definitely, wink wink, isn't directly connected to the Queen or anything. We'll do another video on that eventually. But as of right now, I want to primarily talk about Leor Cohen, okay? See, Cohen worked on the label side of the music industry, like it says here, at companies including Warner Music, we'll get to them here in a second, Def Jam, Island Def Jam, and of course 300 Entertainment, like I mentioned. And see, during that time, right, Def Jam was under Polygram and Universal. During Cohen's time at Def Jam, right, he worked with a brand new roster of successful rappers like Redman, Method Man, Jay-Z, we'll get to that eventually in another video, DMX, Ja Rule, and Ludacris himself. Cohen also oversaw custom label deals with Rockefeller Records, Murder Inc., Disturbing the Peace, and others. But in 1998, when he just so happened to leave Def Jam, right, Polygram was purchased by Seagram and merged into Universal. And see, during that time, a special little somebody had a pretty good relationship. But see, Leor Cohen himself during his time in the music industry was the victim of a lot of allegations as well, including a couple from John Homston, a retired CIA agent, which a couple of years ago admitted on national Russian television, allegedly saying that the CIA was supposedly behind the creation of the 1980s hip-hop scene and financed major hip-hop acts including NWA and other acts as well, stating that allegedly the government at the time spent big money, serious money on this covert operation destined to further division and corrupt the American youth to nihilist anti-establishment and anti-American ideologies. Also saying that allegedly famous hip-hop songs of the legendary hip-hop outfit NWA were even scripted by a team of psychologists and war propagandists of the CIA. Mentioning these lyrics right here and saying that other nihilist and anti-establishment lyrics were intended to unleash a wave of cynicism towards authorities, allegedly promote the use of heavy drugs, and induce the youth of revolutionary counter-establishment ideas. With the retired CIA agent also allegedly claiming that the social engineering maneuver was extremely successful. Also stating that allegedly their mission was to use teenage angst to their advantage and turn Generation X into a decadent, pro-drug, and anti-establishment culture that would supposedly create uprisings and further division within society. Also saying that they allegedly infiltrated mainstream radio to promote their music and reach millions of people every day. But here's the thing, right? That retired CIA agent, John Homston, claimed that Leor Cohen, commonly known as the tall Israeli who runs hip-hop, was allegedly a CIA asset. And it's really interesting because you know how I mentioned that Leor Cohen just so happened to be the CEO of Time Warner? Well, allegedly, some of the biggest names in the music industry are in cahoots with private prison owners. And you can read this part right here if you want to, but in 2021, CoreCivic, formerly known as Corrections Corporation of America, the biggest name in the private prisons industry, contacted 48 states allegedly offering to buy their prisons. But see, there was allegedly one requirement of eligibility for the deal, quotations, an assurance by the agency partner that the agency has sufficient inmate population to maintain a 90% occupancy rate over the term of the contract. And in the year 2012, a mere 232 media executives in the US were responsible for controlling all avenues necessary to manufacture any celebrity and spark any trend. Time Warner, as the owner of Warner Brothers Records, can not only sign an artist, but since they are also the owners of Entertainment Weekly, they can also put an artist on the cover of magazines by next week. And the largest owner of Core Civic, formerly Corrections Corporation of America, is none other than Vanguard. And Vanguard is also the largest...
There we go again. Vanguard. See, IHOP, then BlackRock, then Vanguard, then Time Warner, then Lear Cohen, then the underlings. So yeah, man, this shit is bad, man. This shit is really bad.
Holder in the GEO group, the second largest owner of private prisons in the entire USA. So when I said that this goes deep, it goes pretty damn deep. So stay tuned for part 2.
All right, y'all. I don't know what the hell happened to my screen. I can't even see myself, but y'all can see me, so we good. So I'm finna get up out of here because I don't know what the hell happened on the goddamn screen. So I don't even know what to do. I can't even pull up another video, but make sure to buy my card games. Make sure to contribute to my channel. Make sure to, is my banner going? I don't see my banner. Let's see. There it is. Yeah. Make sure to contribute to my Cash App. Scrolling at the bottom of my screen. See, I don't know what the hell is going on. Okay, there we go. Is it going now? Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened. Some is going wrong. There we go. There we go. It's on now. Make sure to contribute to the channel. Cash App is $AARON 1000. AARON 1000. If you enjoyed this content, if you enjoyed going down this rabbit hole, drop a 5, drop a 10, drop a 100, just drop a little something in my Cash App to let me know that you got love for me. So, buy me lunch or whatever, just something small, and or buy one of my card games. I got the Deeper Discussions card games, and I have the mother-daughter card games. But I am out. Y'all have a good rest of y'all night. And I hope y'all enjoyed going down the rabbit hole.
New way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
I played this game with my mother yesterday, and she told me things I never knew about her.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.